All right, everyone. This is SANDCAST, another quarantine edition of the podcast, Beach Volleyball with Bourne and Travis Mewhirter. The cool thing about doing some quarantine Zoom podcasts is that we get to talk to people all over the country. So we got my friend Hector Gutierrez over there down in Fort Worth, Texas, the head coach of TCU. Dude, you're doing an outside podcast. I'm a little jealous.
Yeah, I know. Let me know if it gets too noisy, though. But I want to enjoy the good weather today, so that's why I'm outside.
Yeah, you got to get outside. It looks nice too.
Yeah, we have a good backyard, so might as well to use it these days that we're gonna leave the house.
Yeah. Well, how obviously this is a little bit different than your usual April would be going as a head coach at TCU. What you been up to these past couple weeks?
Yeah, I mean, it hit us all hard. We were on the road, and actually we were gonna play in Coastal Carolina and in South Carolina. We were on the road there, and it hit us pretty hard because we were about to play. We practiced and everything got shut down.
Yeah.
So we just we were there for 3 days doing nothing. Good thing we were like right on the beach in the hotel, so at least it was good weather. And yeah, we, like everybody, like we were in a train 100 miles an hour, all of a sudden stopped. And these past few weeks, as I was talking to you before, that not much going on. You just try to stay engaged with our athletes, the most special ones, like that, because there's a lot of time they put on this, right? And all of a sudden it's gone. So we're trying to be with them and let them know we're here for them. But of course, there's not much we can do because at the end of the day, we have nothing to do with all this. But you're just trying to help, especially with those seniors that, as we all know, some of them will come back, some of them won't, because they have like future plans, jobs, and all the stuff. That's that part of all this. And trying to start in contact with the recruits that we're allowed to talk to them, those juniors and seniors, and pretty much like waiting to see what's next.
Yeah.
And we pretty much everyone is waiting and waiting.
Yeah, and
how do you feel? We were in that same position. We put in all that practice, and
I know.
And
you guys is tough because I bet like many of you guys also, that's your way of living, right? And
yeah,
and that's tough when they take your way of living away, and you have to say, "Whoa, what's going on now?" Like, and of course your time is valuable, right? Like, and especially now for the Olympic qualification, that all the stress and all that, like run that everyone, I bet like all of you were excited and going afterwards, but everything is
the stress gets extended another year.
Yeah, I believe like some will be happy about it, but they are more trying to do it. But yeah, others are like kind of like, shoot, one more year. But yeah, I guess you have to just deal with it.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about right now is like pretty much every single person on earth can relate right now. Everyone's going through it together. I think that makes it a lot easier because it's not like people in certain industries are passing other people by while they just have to sit back and not do anything. Everything's on hold. So it seems like a good excuse to just kind of chill out for a second and take it for what it is. But yeah, like start being productive is tough. Have you guys like done team meetings through Zoom or watched film that way or something like that?
We finally got the green light to do the not academic meetings, the end of the year meetings. Like in the beginning when everyone was shut down, we couldn't even talk to them. It was kind of funny. Nothing about volleyball related, right? Only like to check how you doing, blah blah blah. And now, like since like 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago, we're allowed to talk to them and have a little recap of how everything, how they're doing, and of course the beach volleyball related. So we have an individual meetings with them, like with the past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And every Sunday we have an academic meeting with an academic advisor. And so just in case they have questions, of course, because they're online, some of them, they never did online classes. Some of them, they're homeschooled, so they're okay with it. So, but yeah, pretty much also, I like to give them their room because, as I said, it being like emotionally hard for many of them that it's not like there's no part of the team, but also I think some of them are feeling like, you know what, I want to get over with. I don't want to like just hear anything about it. Just want to like just move on and try to, stay here with the family. Yes, the team is great, but what a bad situation I'm in right now, especially the seniors. So we also give them a little bit of room in that sense of like,
Yeah.
let you breathe. I know it's hard, and we're here for you if you need anything. But yeah, we're trying to stay engaged and check with them and see, because I mean, we're not allowed to. Well, we can send them workouts and all this stuff, but of course, it's up to them to do it. But it's not just to come back in shape. It's more for the sane state of mind, being home all day, studying. It's good to be on, and do some exercise and be active. Like some of them, they never been in the situation. Like, I don't think any of us have been in the situation. Like, they know you cannot go to the weight room. You cannot like, and some people have backyards, some people has driveway, some people have the garage to go and do some, but some people don't have anything.
Right.
So they need to reinvent, and that's probably like hard for some to say, hey, what do I do now? Like,
right. Yeah.
Walls all day.
Totally.
Have you talked with some of your seniors yet about who might be coming back and kind of taking this extra year? Because I know I've seen a couple seniors just in the Southern California schools are coming back. I saw Ia Lindoff from Cal just committed to LMU, so people are kind of moving around a little bit. I don't know if you've had a chance to see what seniors are interested in coming back.
Yeah. As soon as we knew we got an opportunity to bring them back, and each school is different, right? Each school's like will like help with that scholarship or not, whatnot. In our case, we talked to some of them, well, with all of them, and only 2 are coming back because, as I said, the other ones have already plans or job line up, and they decide to just go and move on. And we cannot forget also that even though we can honor their scholarship, the majority of them, or probably like all of them, will have to still pay money for one more year. So some of them, they don't want to, they don't want. I mean, they cannot like afford it, But yeah, I'm grateful enough that, or lucky enough that 2 are coming back. So we're really stoked about that.
Yeah, I mean, that's good to get the 2 extras. It's such a tricky situation for coaches because it's not like you get additional scholarships, but now you have your incoming freshmen plus your seniors who might be coming back. So interesting challenge for all you guys.
Yeah. Some of the freshmen that it's gonna be even harder, like, and some of them won't even play until they're junior, maybe. Who knows, and it's tough for them as well. They have an extra year, but for other sport, it's tough because the scholarship, I mean, especially on our situation at TCU being private and the high cost of attendance and everything. I mean, we'll never know how their family financial like situation is going to be in 3-4 years. So you want to hope that I can help with some scholarship because we're not obligated to giving a 5-year like money wise, but maybe if we give them some, maybe they won't even able to afford it or stuff like that, But things change, of course. It's gonna carry until, I was thinking until the class of 24 or 25. If you think about it, because it's like our freshmen now have 4 more years, so that will take until the class of 40 or 2025 almost. Yeah?
It's insane.
It's crazy. It's like it's just a big ball of snow coming like and getting bigger as you put more thought about it, like, oh, I like that girl, but what a second, I have 4 redshirt freshmen because my class is huge, my child is 6. So like, well, but yeah, we're gonna cross that bridge when we get there, I guess.
Yeah. And how is the volleyball scene down in Fort Worth? I know that Texas in general has a pretty big volleyball following, but is it? I mean, I know that we've seen LSU succeed, and you saw firsthand how Florida State, how good they are as an assistant coach there. But how is it kind of building up a program in Texas?
It was a challenge, and coming from Florida State when it's already established program, and and being on the nationals all the time, and you go from trying to win a national championship, but that's what it was demanding for the type of athlete we have in the school, to come and build something from pretty much from the scratch, And when I got here was the second year of the program, pretty much, 2016, and it's there is a challenge, but it's also there's a side of that belongs to me and to my staff, right? That we build this, we get it and we taking this train in the right direction, and that's a really good thing about it. That's like what I think is college about too, building up and trying to get the best of every single athlete we got in our hands, and I'm like also like really grateful for the school, because you need a school behind you to help you to build something, because without the school support there's no way. So
Right.
on that sense, like I'm lucky enough that I landed in the right place.
Yeah. And TCU has a pretty good athletics program as a whole, which is always good to have that kind of support. But when you're hired as a coach in the second year of a program, like you're pretty much building it from the ground up, as you kind of mentioned. Like, what's the first step? Like, where do you start?
Well, when first it's like, and I got here like in November, so their girls were practicing and everything before I got here. So, well, first thing was like, like to make them play and show me where the level was, right? And from there you understand what you can ask them, and I'm not gonna ask athletes that things that I know they're not able to do until they get better. So that was pretty much what I was doing. I was like watching them playing and trying to implement a lot of ball control, which didn't pretty much exist on that when I got here, and we did a lot of that, and we got better, of course, but it took time.
Yeah.
It took time, and it took time for them to see the other way of my coaching. So it was like an adjustment that both of us, I mean, me, of course, and the team, needed to make.
Yeah. It's been fun to see all the different programs that are being built up. I mean, you're building up TCU right now. I mean, Stetson is just getting better and better. Cal Poly with Todd Rogers like made a huge jump last year. John Mayer's bringing LMU up. I feel like there's just a lot of programs that are on their way up to that. Is it like fun for you too to kind of have like see how fast everyone can build their programs and how big this college game's getting?
Yeah, and it's fast and it's scary because you don't want to feel behind, right? So and that's always like we're saying, like we're in a good situation, but we need to catch up soon because you don't want to be in the back of the train all the time, like you want to go and you need to be realistic also with what we have and what we can build. But I'm really competitive coach, and I always like want to build a quick and but good with good like with good people that want to build like something together, and I think we're accomplishing that right now.
Yeah. And I think that your like path to TCU is so fascinating to me because you grew up, you were like raised in the Canary Islands and then
Yes,
Spain. And
Spain, yeah.
then, did you ever imagine? Then you played pro for a while and coached some national teams, and now, like, did you ever imagine you'd be sitting in Fort Worth, Texas, building up
No,
TCU?
not at all, not at all. Like, you never know what life can bring you, right? I mean, of course, my beginnings were like, back in the island, playing pro indoor, playing beach in the summers, and get a taste of it, and after this is random, but when I really, really started like being more like about beach volleyball was when I was playing in Switzerland with the men's team and indoor, and I knew the beach stuff because they all practice in my hometown in the Canary Islands, right? And that was like I have a spare time, and I called Sebas and say, hey, do you need help? And say, yeah, just come in the mornings and help us out, and that's how it really like starting getting like really hooked by the sport, like coaching wise, right? I love to
Mhm.
play it, but I never thought I was like coaching. It's gonna be kind of weird, only two people, blah, blah, blah. But it was there, and until today, like it's like being like a nice ride, kind of like a roller coaster because you have up and downs too, of course. But yeah, of course, never thought I would be Texas coaching volleyball. Coming from the island, that's it never crossed my mind.
It's a long way.
I wanted to ask you about the Canary Islands because I hear that's like one of the biggest off-season training spots for most of the pros, right? Yes. I haven't gotten the invite out there yet, but since you're a local, I might need to get out there because
You
I hear.
should.
I mean, a bunch of the top teams are out there during the
Yeah,
off season.
all the top European teams go there and do training camps throughout the winter, fall, winter, and because, I mean, like how you train in Poland in December, you can't
Yeah.
unless you do the inside. But of course, the ball doesn't move. It's a different game. And probably you play in Den Haag and you see like how it's totally different like game playing indoors. You say, what is this? So it's good to practice indoors there because that's no other way to do it. But of course, those teams needs to get outside, and it's all the top European teams are from both genders. So, and that's what we always recommended when I was coaching the USA girls. Like, I know, like having California Beach, having Hermosa, Manhattan, like always, go there and practice is easier. But also, you need to get out of your comfort zone. You need to go and if you have to cross the Atlantic and go and practice for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and get out of your comfort zone, go do it. Why not? If you have the time. And
that's hardly out of my comfort zone to go to the Canary Islands and play beach volleyball.
When you think about it, you're also gonna be practicing competing with teams that you're gonna face in tournaments. That you don't have that opportunity if you don't go there and do it. And maybe you know how it is. Maybe you play, I don't know, like a team from Austria, you play once in a year, and you don't know why because the draw, the pools. But there, maybe you're practicing with them every other day, maybe, and you see it in a tournament, you already know.
Yeah.
And that could be, in my opinion, a factor that the teams competing to win a tournament should have.
Totally. Yeah. No, that's why I was asking. I've always kind of heard about
I will
everyone
make it work
training
for you. I will make some calls. Invite you there.
There we go. Perfect.
No,
I would
but
love to.
believe me, like if you want to go, you can go. I mean, it's the training there is perfect. It's cheap to rent places. It's like really like easy to get to the beach, walking distance, and the training between you guys and coaches, you can set it up. You can have like a double day for 3 weeks there, like with no problem.
There you go, Try. You got your invite.
Let's go. Got the local.
The Spanish guys will love to have you there, believe me.
Nice.
Adrian and Pablo, they will love to have you there.
Nice. Love it. I might have to take them up on that as long as I can figure it out with the family.
Well, you can bring them. Say like they will like it there too.
Yeah, I guess it wouldn't be too bad for them. Just sit on the beach while I practice.
Will be tougher.
I know the Norwegian guys go down there pretty much every year.
Yeah, as I said, every year they go there at different times of the year, right? But the Norway always go there. Russians go there. The Polish guys. What's that?
They just have to, I guess. That makes sense.
Yes, they have to, and they go not just because the weather. They go because the other teams are going.
Right.
So they play and practice against good competition. That's the good thing about it. Because you can do a training camp in South Africa or in California if you want to, because the weather is also perfect. But it's closer. Yes, it's closer, and the teams also.
Yeah. I'm in.
Getting to Cape Town might be a little bit tougher than Spain.
Nice, so I've been there.
That's what I hear. Everyone says that Cape Town's one of their favorites.
Yeah, that's another training camp. But I think the access for the teams to go to Cape Town is a little bit more difficult than go to Spain.
Yeah,
and also it's more affordable as well.
Yeah,
so that's why you see it a lot going on there during those off seasons. Though.
Yeah, and Coach, you mentioned that you thought it might be weird, like you were a player, and then it might be weird, like becoming a coach. What helped you kind of ease that transition? Because we've had a lot of players who became coaches on the podcast, and I think Jose Loyola did one of the best jobs of describing it. That like you got to kill the player inside to be a really good coach. Like, how did you go about making that transition? Because you've done it in so many different aspects. You were an indoor coach in a couple different countries like Germany and Turkey, and then you jumped to the beach. I'm just kind of interested in that transition and kind of how you flipped it.
Yeah, for me, I mean, especially wasn't that hard, because I I was playing, but I also was like, I'm kind of done type of thing, when suddenly, like when I was 27, 28, and, but it's true. Like when you like are like, when you coaching and you're not playing anymore, like you feel like the frustration comes quicker, right? Because, you still, I was at an age where I can still like, I was coaching men they were older than me, some that are younger than me, but I knew I could still play, right? But I decided not to. So that frustration comes. But as I said, in my case, I was like really easy though, because I kind of like have it on my mind already. Say, you know what, I'm done type of thing. I'm done like traveling, and I'm done like competing. And also, I didn't play, of course, at the level that Loyola plays. So for him, probably it's like it's way like tougher, because from being here to like going down and try to make others become where he was, that's have to be, I mean, a challenge as well.
Yeah. And so what made you end up flipping to the beach though? Because you only coached indoor for a handful of years, it looked like, and then before you kind of went full-time beach, or maybe you did them both. I'm not positive.
So yeah, I did both. And the thing is, what I said was I was in Switzerland. I mean, all my friends, I mean, Danny Wood, he coached like the Spanish national team forever, and now he's coaching the Dutch national team too, the girls. So he's been on the tour for many years. He was the first one of our group like getting really into coaching from the Canary Islands. Like someone that was really close to me. And after, of course, my my really good friend like Guillermo Naranjo, he was coaching in Germany, and he started coaching like the German national team for on the beach side, and coaching indoor, so doing both. And that was like Carla and Brita, and that was how like I started it too, because he needed a hand as an assistant coach,
Okay.
because he was doing both. And I was in Zurich and Stuttgart is only 3 hours apart. So that's how I really started like getting really involved with that. Thanks to him that he gave me the opportunity to say, hey, I need a hand. Come here when you can. Let's do some camps. And I went with them to Brazil, which I can't complain about it, because I went to Stuttgart and helped him out, and that was like how I really started it.
What do you love about coaching? Because you mentioned it really wasn't tough for you to kind of give it up as a player. Maybe it helped that you weren't at quite at Jose's level, which pretty much nobody is. But what is it that drew you to coaching?
Well, I mean, there's a special thing about coaching that I always like to see the players when they trust the coach, right? And that's the ultimate goal as a coach. If I can get you to trust me, we're gonna do great things, and that trust is not just because the experience I can have or the things I say. It is because you need to see it reflected on the court. And we're not talking about just winning or losing. It's about something worse, because there's a lot of things, a lot of pieces that you need to get in place to win. Just not to say you have an opponent in front of you that probably like is pretty good or so the trust, like building that trust and get that trust for an athlete, I think that's the most wonderful thing that you can get as a coach.
It must take a lot of discipline, I feel like, and patience to build teams or build practices and teams around each individual, because you've coached people at almost every single level of the game, but then you have to go back to like how you did, where you're starting to build a program. It must be tough, but I guess a good challenge for a coach to like customize each practice and workout and the way that you talk to each athlete differently so that you can gain that trust.
Yeah. And it was and it is, and it still is, because one of my philosophies, every drill or exercise that I'm done with the pros, I always do it with the college. You can do it. You can do it worse or you can do it better, but you still can do it. And of course, in college, it's, as you said, it takes more time as well, because it's a different level of comprehension, the IQ of the game. They think about like, there's like a young woman that they haven't played the game for that long, like I go from coaching Brittany Hochever, like who's been playing beach volleyball forever, to coach 18, and trying to make her do this drill as Brittany does or Kelly does. That's not realistic, you know. So it is frustrating, of course, but also it's a challenge, you know, because I warn you, because in my opinion, everyone is capable to do it, you know. I mean, and you need to like push yourself to do it, and keep doing it. And some of them in the beginning, they were like, well, coach, we're not pros. He said, well, it doesn't matter, you know. I mean, you're in college, so that's going to do, this will help you to win in college. If you want to be a professional, that will help you to do whatever thing you want to do in professional level. But right now, I mean, I don't think what should be a conflict, those type of practices. But it's true, we need to make adjustments. You know, it takes, you need to make an adjustment. Something that doesn't work or they don't understand or whatever. Of course, you need to like approach it. What I will say, you need to approach it from a different angle. A pro player who's been with different coaches and understand the game. I mean, you can be more straightforward, more direct, you know, and you will get it, you know, and in a couple of practices. College is a little bit different. College, you need to like get it from a different angle, so they will like understand better, you know.
Yeah.
And well, some of your players are not too far off from being pros. I know Danielle Alvarez. I met her in China at the 3-star, and she's hanging with the best in the world. And she's only like 18.
Yeah, she turned 18 in November. Yeah,
not bad. That's got to be pretty fun to coach girls who are that talented, that young, and like who she probably gets it at a pretty professional level. What you're teaching her, because like she has a pretty much limitless future, I think.
Well, with that kind of player. And so they being, I mean, they're coming from the national team and they have those national training complex in Europe. So, you know, it's a different format that here in the United States. So Daniela been practicing like a pro is practicing. She's 14, you know, like go in the morning practice, go to school, come back, practice again. So of course, the transition from that type of coaching is easier for her because she already been doing it, you know. But of course, there is a lot of things that it takes in place, that the adjustment, well, I was talking to you in Florida, the adjustment to the college culture and the college like practices, because we have 17 players. We don't have like 4 players like most of the nationals or teams in Europe have. And maybe they have a top of 4 or 6 players practicing together, and you go and you're going to throw you in on a team of 17 girls, 18 girls. So there is a big change, right? And yeah, and it takes time because you cannot be just with 4 players on a court. You know, you have 17 that you need to take care of it. And I don't like to put players on a court and say, okay, well, this is the drill. I'm going to explain you. If you don't figure it out, you don't figure it out. I need to be with the top players. No, because I really believe, and I do really believe that if my no best player on the team gets better, it will help the best player on the team. You know, we cannot just forget about some because their skills or whatnot, or they're a little more slow in getting things that I want to get done. You know, like it's true at some point, we just need to like focus more when it's season and then the players they're like playing more but during the fall, we just give the same amount of attention to everyone. And probably like players like Daniela, that they come having a lot of attention because it's only 4 girls and 1 coach or 2 coaches, feel like a little bit like out of her comfort zone, you know.
Is it difficult to build those practices? Like, because you're probably used to that more like 4 to 6 person practice as well.
Yeah, now I got better. In the beginning it was tough, but you know, when you get into like the first year we're trying to do drills with 6, 7 players, it is difficult because I don't know, like when you, as you say, when you have 2 players, you can have as many reps as you want in 2 hours. Yeah. It's only 2. But how am I going to give them the same amount or the close amount of reps to these skills, to these 6 skills on the court? So you need to really come up with ideas that my goal is always you touch the ball 3-4 times before you like rotate or something, you know, but at least that you're not waiting outside, like waiting to see someone, you know, like, and we do that like 6, 7 players per court, but everyone's having like something to do. Everyone is participating on that drill, not just watching. Even like you serving and passing twice or setting twice to yourself and doing something else, but always engage, because besides you need to practice your skills, always your mind needs to be engaged on the drill. And that way, you know, like, oh, when is my turn? Put me in, coach, type of thing, and the drill, you know?
I've learned, because we've done some national team practices now where it's like 4 or 5 teams where they bring in a lot of teams. Tyler Hildebrand's been running them, and it's been really cool because when I am that team off the court, I'm able to watch good high-level volleyball and like learn new things. And you know, each drill is usually working on something specific, so I can see how these other players and other teams are doing it, and then I can use that, you know. And I'm sure you're preaching that all the time to your players, like keep watching. But it really is beneficial to be able to watch high-level volleyball and step back from it for a second and then go back in. Because sometimes I feel like when you're just doing it over and over with 1 or 2 teams, you're not really getting that outside perspective and then able to like reset and do something differently. You kind of end up doing the same thing over and over.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like when you and other team, you don't have time to see what's going on. You just really focus on you and your partner and what your coach is telling you. But when we do those drills of 7 players, when you are outside, you're always watching something, and when it's your turn, you come in and you're still engaged. And that we always tell them, you need to be on this court. This is where your home is right now, and just pay attention to every single detail. You know, even if you're outside, you need to be paying attention what's going on in.
Hopefully they listen to this then.
They got nothing better to do.
Nothing better to do. Yeah.
It's true. But one thing I need to say, and you put your finger on it, like when I really miss and I really try to preach to my team and my girls, is like to watch pros play. You know, there is a little bit of college athletes, what at least that's what I think, that they watch pros play on regular basis on YouTube or whatever channel they want to watch it, you know. And I can like bet you that if we do like a, you know, if we ask some of them who are some players on the tour, they have no idea. You know. And it's kind of like, I don't want to say sad, but it's kind of like, you know, you learn watching too, you know, like you learn, like I remember like one of my best defenders, like you see her and she doesn't look that she's super athletic or whatever, but she's like a really good player, right? And I tell her like to do this line shot that she can do it, but she doesn't really think she can make it work, you know, because her athleticism or whatever. And I'm trying to explain it. No, you're wrong. You can do it. So I sit her down and I show her Patricia Rebecca from the Brazilian team that like have like an amazing year. And it's kind of the same age. You see the defender and you can see like there's no way this girl can do the thing she's doing, right? Because you see her walking on the set and she doesn't look athletic. And I saw her and say, who is this girl? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, and I say, hey, if this girl can do it, you can do it. Maybe not as good as she's doing it because she's at a different level. It's totally doable, you know, like, so I miss that part of them like saying, hey, I want to watch more pros play, you know, because I think that would help them a lot, and it will help our sport a lot too, to see especially those female athletes like doing the great things they're doing out there, and they don't look like the reps or anything like that. They just look like them, you know, like it's and it's something I trying to like implement it on our practices, you know, giving them like some homework. Say, watch this. Let me know what you think about this. You know, what do you think they did on, you know, stuff like that. Look at that hand contact. You know, look at that passing and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've been trying to watch a lot of film. I gave myself homework. I had to schedule it into my week. As of now that we're quarantined, just watching something. I've been watching some older videos. I'm watching a little bit of Jose Loyola so I can give him some crap when I see him do something that he gives me crap for. It's been hard to find it though, because he just went up and just hit OT on everybody. I can't really do that.
Wasn't a lot of tactic back then.
Yeah.
Who if like we have some high school or college beach volleyball players listening right now, Hector, then who are some players that you would recommend them watch that you think are great examples of them to pick up on some stuff from?
Well, as I said, this new team from Brazil, Patricia and Rebecca, they're just amazing because I think that's the closest age on the tour of them right now. Like and as I say, you see both of them, and they don't seem super physical, but they do like really good things. And it's all about, of course, the touches and the practices, right? But I mean, I have like few players that when I coached Carla Borger from Germany, when I was
I didn't know you coached her.
coach there, like, yeah, and Brita, yeah, that's when they got the silver medal in the world champs.
Okay.
And there was a new team from Germany, and that was the first time that a European female team got a medal in the world champs ever. It was like one of the things that happens like once in a while, and it was really cool to see because, as I said, Carla was really physical and really like really good shape, and Brita was the totally opposite. She was like the girl who was picked up, like she was a blocker. Yeah. She wasn't like a huge blocker. She seems like she always was like struggling, but she got one of the best side out on the tour by far. Like, and everyone was still picking on her and say, all right, keep picking on her. We're reaching semis here, like all the time. Yeah. And it's something that that my point, they need to see how it doesn't matter how you looks like, I mean, if you put your time on it, and you put like you can do it, because there's people out there, they're not like physically gifted, but they put their time and they can make it work, Totally. So Carla is one of the physically gifted, right? Like really like super physical, like reads really well, super fast. Brita was the totally opposite, she jumps, but she wasn't like a huge block, great IQ, great hand, and now in the tour we can see like, I mean, it's true, like the female become really, really physical too. You just see like bigger girls and like it become more like closer closer to the men's, right? Like big blocker with a good defender and the blocker like jumping and hitting all the time. But yeah, there's few like, like we have Lima from Brazil that has been on the tour forever, one of the best players out there she's super talented, like, and but as I said, if you're a defender, you need to keep watching that. Of course, Melissa from Canada, that's a pretty good player, like the Brazilians for sure, Lima, Rebecca too, and from
I've enjoyed watching Brooke sweat, like just how different her game is. Yeah. She's really like molded it to her size and her athleticism, and like she's one of the fun.
That's a perfect example too. Like another player that you see, like how you're gonna side out, and she makes it work. What you say? She tailored that game to her way of making it work. She's not trying to do anything that's spectacular. She say, hey, this worked for me, I'm gonna do this for me. And that's really smart. You need to be also smart where your potential is and how you can make things work, and
work to your strength.
Yeah, because everyone wants to be the April Ross in defense, or everyone wants to be Laura Ludwig on defense. But everyone is no April Ross. You don't have the physicality of April. You don't have the physicality of Laura, or you don't have, so you just have to tailor it, as to your game,
Yeah. Totally.
Are you coaching any national teams right now, or is TCU taking up all your time?
Well, yeah, that of course is a big part. I mean, I can, but also the location is a little bit tougher. I have Bree and Emily come here. Kelly came here with Bree also at the end. But like it is a little bit difficult, but of course, like coaching college, that's what my time is on, and I try to make it work before. In California, of course, it will be easier, right, because that's where everyone is located at these days. But yeah, as of now, just doing this, and there's some teams sometimes that come, like last year, the team from Canada, Julie Gordon and Michelle, they came here to do training camps with me and my assistant, and they do some training camps, and that was great, and
they had a good little year last year too.
What's that?
They had a good year last year too. They did some good things.
Yeah, that was good. I mean, it was good, like, to see them grow, because Julie being on the tour for a long time, and going play with Brandy going with Heather, Heather is a lot of great defender, by the way. Now we're
Yeah.
talking about her, you know. and Julie and Michelle was playing indoor, and then you know, and that was a transition also for her, and it was good to see them, like as you say, playing better and better, and I think I'm positive they're gonna have like a good year. I want to say this year, but probably next year with all this going on. And but yeah, I worked with them like last year a couple of times, and that was great.
Yeah, it seems like you've coached. How many different national teams have you coached now? That you've gotten you got Canada in the mix. There's Germany, Slovakia. You had a Turkish team in there for a while, right?
Yeah, Turkey was like most the indoor, but yeah, each one being,
Okay.
as I said, like was Germany, Slovakia, a little well, the Canadians a little bit, and USA. You know, that was mostly like since I started like living here full time. It was more like US since like
Yeah.
2014 or 15.
Yeah. What do you think? How do you think beach volleyball is going to be once we get out of this mess? Do you think it's like once summer hits, we'll be back to sort of normal, or do you think it's going to be a little bit different from here on out?
Well, I hope that you guys have tournaments in January next year.
Me too.
So that will,
Yeah.
that's that I will think it will be. I don't know. I don't think it will happen before that. You know, based on what's going on, and I wish it will. But for sure, they will start like people training in the next few months outside, and the FIVB will come with a full schedule beginning of the next year. Hopefully a little bit earlier, but I would say they will probably come with a strong schedule and time to build it, you know, and that will give you you guys time to fully like prepare too.
Well, they still haven't decided what the new Olympic qualification system is going to be. I mean, I think it's going to be similar, just pushed a year back. That's what I'm guessing, but I'm sure they have to do that before they even give us our schedule.
Exactly. So they probably like need time. They don't know, and it's kind of like probably kind of like waiting and see what other bigger sports do too, how they handle it, you know, and
Right.
and especially like the Olympic qualification should be kind of similar, you know. I will probably, like you said, they will extend it because they need to let you guys play more, you know, and compete for it and have a fair chance. And but yeah, I mean, when things get to normal, like the difference, like you having the you had the longest preseason, so for a year and a
Year-long
half.
preseason.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Hector, is there anything else that you want to chat about? Anything else you want to cover or hit while we got you here from your patio in Fort Worth?
No, thank you for having me. I have a really good time, and I know everyone is like you know, like want to go out there and do their stuff, and for everyone is watching, like it for sure like happens soon. And when it happens, just you know, get out there and train and practice as much as you can, because you'll never know when it can take it away from you again, I guess.
No kidding. No one's taking it for granted anymore.
You appreciate it every single minute you have out there, especially like for you know the beach volleyball athletes that you know they're trying to follow their dreams. Could be pros to go to the Olympics or winning tournaments, and could be like a you know juniors to go to college. That just take it, you know, and take it like and embrace it better than ever. So
Yeah.
I guess we will never know anymore.
Yeah. Well, Hector, we appreciate your time. Thanks for scheduling us in here on a quarantine Monday.
Thanks, Hector. Appreciate
Thank you guys. Thank you for having me.
Shoots.
Later. Shoots.